What's up gamers, Crafting DM here. Today we are taking a look at how you can easily craft up some Sci-Fi Scatter Barrels from a $1 bag of party poppers from the dollar store. If you like what you see on my channel, please go ahead and like and subscribe. And also you can check me out on Instagram at the Crafting DM. Alright, let's take a look. As I mentioned, I purchased this bag of TNT party poppers from the local 99-cent store for $1. The bag comes with 8 poppers, so they cost about 12 cents a piece. After having some fun pulling the string and popping them all, I began the craft by peeling off the decorative paper wrapping from the body of each popper. Also, I peeled off the foil, which holds the string, from the stem of each popper. Next, I used a micro sprue cutter to cut off the stem of each popper. Looking back, it would have been a bit easier to use one of my wire cutting clippers off the pegboard in my garage. Really only because the smaller size of the micro sprue cutter made it a bit difficult to get a clean cut. The tiny size of the cutting edge barely fit around the stem of the popper, and required multiple cuts to cut it free. One good thing about using the smaller size sprue cutter was that it resulted in an uneven opening at the top, which when painted with some metallic paint later, really added to the overall look and feel of the barrel. Next, I primed the pieces using the Army Painter's Matte Black Spray Primer. Due to their light weight, my first few sprays pushed the poppers all over the place. Next time I spray more of these poppers, I plan to use a bit of painter's tape or putty to hold them in place. So if you attempt this craft, I would recommend taking a moment to anchor the poppers down before you go ahead and spray. Once they were primed and dried, I painted them using a few basic paints. You can buy these paints on Amazon or at Walmart for fairly cheap, and I will drop links in the description below. First, I based the barrels with Apple Barrel's Pure Orange, being sure to touch up any smudges with Apple Barrel Black. After a few coats, I was satisfied with the color, and I moved on. Next, I used Brushed Silver from the Brushed Metal series to highlight the edge areas, and also to create a few worn-looking areas to make it appear that the paint had worn off, revealing the metal barrel beneath. The final color that I applied was Dark Rust from Folk Art's Painted Finishes. I used this to create a few rusty areas on the barrels to give them some life. To finish the barrels, I sprayed them with Mod Podge clear acrylic sealer to give them some shine and durability. I wanted the barrels to be a bit more modular and universal, so I decided not to base them, and instead I glued them in threes using Aleene's tacky glue. All in all, I think they came out pretty well, and they took very little time, money, and materials to create. Also, they blend pretty well with my other Sci-Fi industrial silo scatter from an earlier build video that I made. And that's all for today. Thanks for watching. Until next time.
That I see